December 10th, 2020 meeting of the City of Miami Commission in these historic chambers. Procedures for the public comment will be explained by the City Attorney shortly. In the meantime, I'd like to let anyone know who's watching, if they would like to comment publicly today, you can call in on the following number, 305-250-5454. I'm going to repeat that a few times this morning so that anyone who does want to comment publicly, we will have a single comment period where they can call in and we can transmit live to everybody. So, procedures for the swearing in of parties for the planning and zoning and quasi-judicial items will also be explained by the City Clerk. The members of the City Commission are Alex Diaz de la Portilla, Joe Carollo, Manolo Reyes, Jeffrey Watson, and me, Ken Russell, Vice Chair. Also in attendance are City Manager Art Noriega, City Attorney Victoria Mendez, and City Clerk Todd Hannon. The meeting will be opened with a prayer by Commissioner Watson, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Diaz de la Portilla. Everyone please stand.
We pray this morning that our hands, thoughts, and minds are guided by decisions that allow us to help the people we serve. Those things we pray in His name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Madam City Attorney, please state the procedures
Thank you,
to be
Mr.
followed
Chair.
during this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any person who is a lobbyist pursuant to Chapter 2, Article 6 of the City Code must register with the City Clerk and comply with related city requirements for lobbyists before appearing before the City Commission. A person may not lobby a city official, board member, or staff member until registering. A copy of the code section about lobbyists is available in the City Clerk's office or online at municode.com. Any person making a presentation, form, or request or petition to the City Commission concerning real property must make the disclosures required by the City Code in writing. A copy of the City Code section is available at the office of the City Clerk or online at municode.com. Pursuant to Section 2-33, subsection F and subsection G of the City Code, the agenda of the material for each item on the agenda for this meeting was published and made available to the Mayor, members of the City Commission, and to the public at least 5 full business days in advance of the meeting. The material for each item on the agenda is available during business hours at the City Clerk's office and online 24 hours a day at miamigov.com. Any person may be heard by the City Commission through the chair and upon registering pursuant to the published notice for not more than 2 minutes on any proposition before the City Commission unless modified by the chair. Members of the public wishing to address the body may do so by visiting miamigov.com/meeting instructions to submit their written comments via the online comment form. The comments submitted through the comment form have been distributed to the elected officials and city administration throughout the day so that the elected officials can consider the comments prior to taking any action. Additionally, the online comment form will remain open during the meeting to accept comments and be distributed to the elected officials up until the time the chairperson closes public comment period. Members of the public may also call 305-250-5353 to provide comments via the dedicated City of Miami public comment voicemail, where individuals will be able to leave a 2-minute message. Members of the public may also pre-register to provide live public comment by phone during the meeting. You may pre-register by phone by calling 305-250-5350 or online at miamigov.com/government/live-public-comment. All comments submitted will be included as part of the public record for this meeting and will be considered by the City Commission prior to taking any action. Public comment may also be provided live at City Hall, subject to any and all COVID-19 regulations and procedures. Speakers who appear in person will be subject to screening for symptoms of COVID-19. Any persons exhibiting any symptoms of COVID-19 will not be permitted to enter City Hall. All interested parties are required to abide by all state, county, and local emergency orders and are urged to remain at home and practice social distancing. If the proposition be continued or rescheduled, the opportunity to be heard may be at such later date before the City Commission takes action on such proposition. When addressing the City Commission, the member of the public must first state his or her name, his or her address, and what item will be spoken about. Any person with a disability requiring assistance, auxiliary aids, and services for this meeting may notify the city clerk. Section 286.0114, subsection 4, section C of Florida statutes specifically authorizes the city to prescribe procedures or forms for an individual to use in order to inform the board or commission of a desire to be heard, to indicate his or her support, opposition, or neutrality on a proposition. The city, through its multiple comment options, has provided several different methods to indicate, among other things, the public's support, opposition, or neutrality on the items and topics to be discussed at today's commission meeting. The public has been given the opportunity to provide public comment during the meeting and within reasonable proximity and time before the meeting. The city has also created a simple set of instructions explaining how the public may submit their comments with either option. Those instructions were provided in the notice to the public via the city's social media channels and published online at miamigov.com/meeting instructions. Please note, commissioners have generally been briefed by city staff and the city attorney on items on the agenda today. Anyone wishing to appeal any decision may be made by the City Commission for any matter considered at this meeting may need a verbatim record of the item. A video of this meeting may be requested at the Office of Communications or viewed online at miamigov.com. PZ items shall proceed according to Section 7.1.4 of the Miami 21 zoning ordinance, is temporarily modified pursuant to emergency ordinance numbers 13902, 13902, 13903, and 13914. Pursuant to emergency ordinance numbers 13903 and 13914, parties for any planning and zoning items, including any applicants, appellants, appellee, city staff, and any person recognized by the decision-making body as a qualified intervener, as well as the applicant's representatives and any experts testifying on behalf of the applicant, appellant, or appellee, may either be physically present in City Hall to be sworn in by oath or affirmation by the city clerk, or may appear virtually and make arrangements to be sworn in by oath or affirmation in person at the location by an individual qualified to perform such duty. Pursuant to emergency ordinance number 13903, members of the general public who are not parties to an action pending before the City Commission are not required to be sworn in by oath or affirmation. The members of the City Commission shall disclose any ex parte communications to remove the presumption of prejudice pursuant to Florida Statute Section 286.0115 and Section 7.1.4.5 of the Miami 21 Code. Staff will briefly present each item to be heard. For applications requiring City Commission approval, the applicant will then present its application or request to the City Commission. If the applicant agrees with staff's recommendation, the City Commission may proceed to its deliberation or decision. The applicant may also waive the right to an evidentiary hearing on the record. The order of presentation shall be as set forth in the Miami 21 Code and in the City Code, providing that the appellant shall present first. For appeals, the appellant will present its appeal to the City Commission, followed by the appellee. Staff will be allowed to make any recommendation they may have. The City of Miami requires that anyone requesting action by the City Commission must disclose before the hearing anything provided to anyone for agreement to support or withhold objection to the requested action pursuant to Section 2-8 of the City Code. Any documents offered to the City Commissioners that have not been provided 7 days before the meeting as part of the agenda materials will be entered into the record by the City at the City Commission's discretion. If any Commissioner thinks that documents supplied to the Commission less than 7 days merit a continuance, item may be continued by the City Commission. Anyone wishing to appeal any decision made by the City Commission for any matter considered at this meeting may need a verbatim record of the item. A video of this meeting may be requested at the Office of Communications or viewed online at miamigov.com. Please silence all cell phones and other noise-making devices. The meeting can be viewed live on Miami TV at miamigov.com/TV, through the city's Facebook page, on the city's Periscope channel, on the city's YouTube channel, and on Comcast Channel 77. The broadcast will also have closed captioning. Commissioners, please confirm you are comfortable with all the notice provisions that set forth in these uniform rules and procedures we have established for this meeting.
Yes, thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you.
Mr. City Clerk, if you could state the swearing-in procedures to be followed during this meeting.
Thank you, Chair. The procedures for individuals who will be providing testimony to be sworn in for planning and zoning items and quasi-judicial items on today's City Commission agenda will be as follows. The members of city staff or any other individuals required to be sworn in who are currently present at City Hall will be sworn in by me, the City Clerk, immediately after I finish explaining these procedures. Those individuals who are appearing remotely may be sworn in now or at any time prior to the individual providing testimony for planning and zoning items and/or quasi-judicial items pursuant to emergency ordinance number 13903 Those individuals appearing remotely may be sworn in at their location by an individual qualified to administer the oath. After you are sworn in, please be sure to complete, sign, and notarize the affidavit provided to you by the city attorney's office. Each individual who will provide testimony must be sworn in and executed an affidavit. Please email a scanned version of the signed affidavit to the city clerk at thannon@miamigov.com prior to providing testimony on the planning and zoning item and/or quasi-judicial item. The affiant shall be included in the record for the relevant item for which you will be providing testimony. Chair, is there anyone in the chambers that will be speaking on any of today's planning and zoning items? We can have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give at today's meeting is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you, Chair.
All set? Thank you very much. And again, for the public comment portion today, we have a telephone number that you can call in if you're watching from home and would like to comment on any of today's agenda items, because we'll be opening public comment relatively soon. That number is 305-250-5454. The reason we're doing that is that we will not be watching pre-recorded video public comments. You can submit email comments, you can call us live, you can come here, and we do social distancing as carefully as possible. While we are forced to meet in person, we will make things as safe and accessible for everyone as we possibly can. So you have multiple ways to be with us live this morning, and calling in is definitely the most accessible one. So I'm going to move on at this point to the order of the day. From the administration, please, are there any items to be continued, withdrawn, or deferred?
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair, Commissioners, Madam City Attorney, Mr. Clerk. At this time, the administration would like to defer and/or withdraw the following items. To be deferred to January 14th, CA 8.
What?
CA 8.
Okay.
To be deferred to January 14th, CA 12. To be deferred to January 28th, FR 1. Yes, sir, FR 1.
Till when?
I'm sorry, sir.
I don't believe FR1 is being.
I'm sorry. I'm saying this in addition to some additional items No, these are not part of it. That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, sir.
So if you could, Mr. Casamayor, if you could read the item number first.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
know that's different than we've done it in the past, but it helps me.
Yes, sir.
The way our plasmas, so read the item number, the action, and then the date.
Let me start over then.
Thank you.
All right. CA 8, to be deferred to January 14th. CA 12, to be deferred to January 14th. FR 1, to be deferred to January 28th. DI 1, to be deferred to January 14th. And there's a few planning and zoning items that we're also requesting to be deferred. PZ 1, to be deferred to May 29th. Mr. Clerk?
I see May 27th, 2021 as the second meeting in 2021?
Okay, May 27th then.
Okay.
PZ 11, to be deferred to April 22nd. PZ 12, to be deferred to April 22nd. And PZ 15, to be deferred to January 28th.
20. All right, you've slimmed our agenda a little. We may be able to get out.
And I'm going
Earlier?
to ask, through the chair, I don't know if we might need some discussions, but I would like to ask that the item that has to do with the different boards that we all serve as chair would be deferred to January. This way, everyone that's there gets their full year, since we did not vote upon this the last time until January. So if we could defer that item, I'm not sure what the number is.
BC1,
PC1, if we could,
BC.
PC1,
BC,
BC,
Boards and
okay.
Committees.
Yeah. If we could defer that also until the January meeting, 14th is fine.
Okay, fine with me?
Are there any other items to be deferred, withdrawn, or continued?
Mr. Clerk, through the chair,
Yes.
I will have an emergency ordinance I'd like to bring up as a pocket item.
So let's vote on the order of the day, and then we will introduce all the pocket items. You'd rather I introduce the pocket items in the order of the day, Madam City Attorney? Oh,
That's fine, Chairman. I just wanted to make sure that PZ 11 and 12, they're companion items, I believe.
yeah, I believe they were both mentioned, April 22nd. Why don't we go ahead and enter the pocket items? If anyone has a pocket item they'd like to introduce, we'll name those now and make those part of the order of the day.
Yes.
Commissioner Crowe, you're
I have a pocket item declaring today we are all San Isidro in Miami. Today is the declared by Mrs. Roosevelt many years ago, the International Human Rights Day. And we all know what has recently happened in Cuba with the San Isidro movement. I will be passing that resolution momentarily. Secondary, I'd like a pocket item.
First, Mr. Gray, I just want to co-sponsor
Thank you.
your San Isidro.
Well,
I also would like to co-sponsor that.
thank you, Commissioner. Lastly, through the city attorney, is there anything that prevents us from instructing the manager that this commission, through a resolution, wants the enforcement of face masks, social distancing in night establishments? We've had television reports recently that in different parts of our city, night establishments are in a free-for-all. Hundreds of people in clubs at 1, 2 in the morning, no face masks, on top of each other. Univision had a big report on that. I recently had 2 calls from the director of Jackson Memorial, Mr. Migoya, where he's asked to try to prevent our hospitals from getting overwhelmed in the near future. If we could enforce the midnight curfew that the county has, and I would like that to also be part of the resolution, that we instruct the manager to enforce the midnight curfew. Look, none of us want to see us going back to mid-March where everything was closed down, because if the virus won't kill us, the economy will. But at the same time, when more than 99% of our business are complying and doing their best to keep us safe and their customers, we cannot have a few ruin it for everybody. This is about the health and safety of everyone. And I'm afraid that those establishments that make their money packing people in, this can't go on until we have the Pfizer or whatever other kind of vaccine that hopefully will be out soon. And they're going to have to work it out somehow until then. But I was going to show the video that 23 had out, but I don't think it's needed. I think we all understand what we're facing. And look, I want to keep everybody open. I want to keep the bars, the taverns, the nightclubs, everybody open. But in this war that we have with this virus, there's a few of our businesses that just don't work out with the virus. If you're out late at night and you're taking drinks in an establishment that is basically all alcohol, you don't have anything to eat, or if you do, it's very little. You know, people, they have more alcohol, they get louder, they don't have face masks like we've seen, and this virus gets spread. We're in a real dangerous area where we're getting approximately 2,000 a day. As we sit here today, Miami-Dade is going to go over 250,000 people that have been confirmed as having gotten the virus. There's probably at least another equal amount that got it and either never said anything or didn't know they got it. So this is a very serious situation. I was speaking through text recently with Uncle Luke, and he made it clear it wasn't fun. It's serious. You know, he went through a real bad time. Some of us, I thank God, have not gotten, but some of us that have gotten understand how serious this could be. And while, thank God, the fatalities have gone down tremendously, that doesn't mean that we're not getting, you know, people dying on a daily basis. We're almost at 4,000 deaths in Miami-Dade. Now, if anybody thinks that's a small number, when you're talking from mid-March to now, 4,000 people that have died from this virus. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of lives. And 250,000 confirmed. My God, I remember almost like it was the other day when the mayor got it. He was number 2 in the county. He could have been number 1, but maybe the other guy went and got it worse before he did. And he got it from people that had come here from Brazil. So it seemed just the other day that, you know, we only had 1, 2, a handful of people, and look where we're at today. 250,000 of our people have gotten it. That's around 8% of our population. And there's probably another 8% or more maybe, like I said, that didn't know they got it or never reported because they figure, you know, why go and take a test if they know the symptoms, they have it. And, you know, some might be individuals that are in a situation where they had to go work. Otherwise, they couldn't feed their families. And, you know, it's a very hard situation in decisions that are hard to make. But nevertheless, we're going to have to make those tough decisions to protect the vast majority. We're not talking here about going back and closing everything. We're talking about enforcing the laws that we have and making sure that those few that are not complying, that could hurt all of us, will comply. So, Madam City Attorney, is there any legal problems for this commission to instruct the manager that this is what we want to be done?
Madam City Attorney, you recognize.
There is no problem for you to enforce the midnight curfew. It has not been enforced based on the resolution of this commission. So you would have to obviously instruct the manager to do so, to enforce.
Well, that's
With
what the
regard-
resolution will be.
So I'll name that as PI2, and I
Yeah.
look forward to that discussion, because I think we all have an
And
opinion.
look, even among our own city, our own police department, fire department, solid waste, and other frontline workers, we have had hundreds of our own employees with the virus. Right now, our own city manager is not here because he got it. And we have to do the best that we can to try to control this. So,
And then with regard to the face masks, we can enforce a face mask at the establishments. The only thing we can't do is give fines to individual people pursuant to the governor's order, but there can be an enforcement procedure with regard to the businesses that have people, and those people should be wearing face
look,
masks.
I think most people, if they're not wearing a mask out in the street or something, if the police or one of our employees give them a mask, 99% are going to say thank you and put it on. So I don't think we have to go there with the fines with people in the street. It's a difference now, as you said, inside establishments. And
So if we could save the remainder of the discussion and take it up as an item and see if
Yeah.
there's a motion, and.
That's right.
And I'll look forward to that. Well,
Thank you.
so PI1 is the San Isidro, are you declaring a day? in the
yes,
city of Miami?
well, what we're declaring today, that we're all San Isidro.
Understood. That's
My-
PI1, PI2.
Mr. Chair, my
Yes.
microphone was off. I wanted the clerk to know that I wanted to be a co-sponsor on Commissioner Corio's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't,
There will be unanimous co-sponsorship on PI1.
yeah, understood.
Okay.
So that's PI1 and 2. Commissioner Corio, any other pockets?
I don't believe so unless I've forgotten one, and you'll have to forgive me if I did, but I think I'm fine, because the other one is an item that I have for discussion that has to do with a charter amendment.
All right, well, just a note on timing. Commissioner Reyes has a Christmas party for us at lunch.
That's
And if
right.
this meeting is done by lunch, he will open up the eggnog. If we have to come back after lunch, no eggnog. So
Just-
you have incentive
Just eggnog or?
for us, I don't know what he's got, but we're going to find out.
Let me make it clear, this will be non-alcoholic eggnog. So I don't want anybody then
Absolutely.
to be accusing us of anything that would not be so.
It's not gonna be a
Will-
coquito.
Will any curfew be enforced?
For Reyes's party on government property, who knows what amendments may come in this pocket item.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, you're
You
right.
have my item, right?
Put the microphone.
You have my item, the pocket item I asked for.
Oh, so this is that this one right here?
Yes, yes.
Could you introduce it, please, so that we know what it is exactly?
It's an emergency ordinance regarding reducing fees to help small developers, it is not a misnomer, to help waive fees on projects less than 500,000 square feet. This in effect will allow us to get 45 families into homes before Christmas on units that have been completed already.
I'll name that as PI3,
Okay.
and this is an ordinance, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So this would need 2 readings? Is
Yes,
this an
sir.
emergency ordinance with 2 readings today?
Yes,
Or
sir.
what is your plan?
Yes, sir.
Just to clarify, because building hasn't done its fiscal impact, we're going to have first reading today, then we'll have second reading on January 14.
But he wants, am I right, Mr. Chair? But he wants them in before Christmas, so how does that work?
Then it's up to you. But I just wanted to tell you the way we were proceeding, which was going to be first reading. But if you want it as an emergency today, I just want you to know that it's not fully drafted yet. And we want to make sure that this only affects, if you're going to pass it today, it only affects the low-income units, not all TCOs. Because right now, as it's drafted, it is drafted in the section for regular TCOs, all TCOs in the city. It's only supposed to be the low-income generating it. That has a huge,
So in your opinion, the only
Okay.
thing missing for us to take, because I believe the intention here is to bring this as an emergency ordinance, to bring relief quickly to those who need it. You're feeling that the financial assessment is missing for us to make a full decision on this based on how much it would cost the city in terms of lost fees?
that is what I have been told, but the manager can advise if they want to proceed differently.
Commissioner, so we haven't had an opportunity to do the fiscal impact yet, but if you deem to pass this, we can always come back if there is a fiscal impact and put before you whatever amendment to the budget we would need to do at a later date.
Commissioner Watson, what would you like to do, 2 readings today?
Yes, the building department apparently helped draft this.
Yeah.
And so we'd like to help these folks.
Right.
We'll do whatever we can in order to make sure it comes back and we can get it done today.
So that fiscal impact is a policy decision on our part.
Yes.
And so we would like to have as much information as possible, but I don't think we want to hold up the legislation
Exactly.
for immediate relief. And so I'll name that as PI3, and we'll bring it up as discussion, but the intention
Through
is
the
2
chair.
readings today.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
Yes,
This, Commissioner Watson, this will be an ordinance, correct? I have no problem in supporting you in first and second reading today. My only concern is, and let's get guidance from the city attorney so we don't get into a situation that we vote upon something, it's immediately challenged by, any bad
Exactly.
flag, and then we're going to come back. Can we vote upon any ordinance, Madam City Attorney, without advertising in the newspaper?
This commission would have to determine that it is an emergency
Okay,
for
you
it
wanna-
to be
all right.
voted on and read today,
All right.
2 times. I would suggest then, if building and budget are still working on the fiscal impact, that you don't vote upon it right now, just
Okay.
put it as one of your items. We still have to listen to the public comment, and we vote on it a little later today
Great.
to give
Okay.
a little more
I
time.
just want to get it on the record.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have a few questions about how it works,
Okay.
and we'll pick it up at that time. That'll be
Most definitely.
PI3.
Thank you.
Next, any further pocket items, Commissioner Watson? You're good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Other pocket items? So
Chair,
yes,
the mayor has 2 pocket items. One has to do with reimbursed expenses under Miami Rental Assistance and Eviction Program. And another pocket item from the mayor is amend program guidelines, mortgage payment assistance.
so PI4 will be rental assistance, and PI5 will be, say it again, mortgage assistance?
One has to do with reimbursed expenses under Miami Rental Assistance and Eviction Program. The other one has to do amend program guidelines, mortgage payment assistance.
Mortgage payment assistance.
That's PI5?
Yes, PI5 will be mortgage assistance program.
Understood?
All right. I have one pocket from the District 2 office. We're looking to get a temporary event, to waive the two temporary event limitation for the Boys and Girls Club of Miami, who will be conducting their annual fireworks sale for New Year's Eve. So that's PI6. Are there any other items that the city commissioners would like to defer or continue or withdraw?
Withdrawal, yes. Withdrawal, yes.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Reyes? what were you
Yes,
saying?
withdrawal, I would like to ask for ER2 to be withdrawn.
Which item?
ER2,
BR2. What is BR2?
if it is possible, because ER2 is the purchase of German motorcycles for the police force.
Oh, RE2.
RE2.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
You're a Harley man.
I'm an American man.
We're
I mean, we should,
we're buy American, we're buy American,
we
man.
buy American. That's right.
Well, I'm glad that it's being brought up this way, because I would like to instruct the city attorney to come up with an ordinance.
Yes.
That's stronger than a resolution, that this city will be buying American products.
What then, where possible, where if there is not If there is not other alternative, then we look at it, and we should place a difference, Commissioner.
Well, here's one that I want to be even stronger on. We have another item for helmets. I've asked where the helmets were manufactured. I was told in my briefing yesterday they didn't know. I think I know where they're manufactured.
I heard in China.
Mr. Assistant City Manager, have you confirmed where they're manufactured at?
I can't confirm where they're manufactured at yet, sir.
Well, why don't you get someone to give you the real truth? China. And I know they're claiming they're the only one that have it now, but I will tell you this, that there's nothing that's manufactured in China of that level that they come up with it themselves. They've stolen it from us, they've stolen from Western Europe, Australia, Japan, Taiwan, or some of the other countries that are this advanced. And I'm familiar with the helmet they won, because the minute the Chinese came up with it, a friend of mine sent me the information so I could see what they were up to. I even have some problems with other additional areas with those helmets, but I'd like to, I'm not going to take it off the agenda, because I'll give them the opportunity to tell me where they're manufactured. The chief is here. And Chief, thank you. And I feel very responsible, because you all know that I'm the one that has pushed for additional motorcycles and motormen. In each meeting, even after we had the budget, I asked for more, and I included monies for more. But as good as something might be right now, I want to make sure that we're not buying from individuals that are connected to a regime that is set on destroying our way of life. And the more money we give them, the more they're going to build up their military and more. Chief.
Commissioner, Mr. Chair, George Kalina, Chief of Police, 400 Northwest 2nd Avenue.
Chief, can I ask you a favor? I apologize.
Put it back on?
Yeah, if you could, because we asked it of everybody.
Absolutely.
I apologize.
No, that's okay.
Thank you, Chief.
This is the way, Chief.
This is the way, that's right. So I can't speak to the helmets specifically, Commissioner, truthfully. We would have to do more research, so certainly we can do that and bring it back to make sure.
Okay.
It's our understanding that it's a sole source because of the Harris radio system that we use, but certainly I can't honestly speak up here about the helmet and tell you conclusively we've researched it, et cetera, and we find ABC. So on the helmet item, certainly we'll get more information and come back to you with the information.
Okay, so we'll defer that item then, too.
Yeah. On the motorcycles, what I can tell you is, I know just the mere fact that it's BMW, you may think that this is a luxury motorcycle. It's a police motorcycle. There's nothing luxury about it. The only reason that we chose to go over to BMW is it is a significantly safer motorcycle. It's about 200 pounds less than the Harley. It's got, at 60 miles an hour, it can stop 20 feet
Mr. Chair.
faster.
If I could let the chief just.
No, because I don't think there is any discussion needed.
Well,
It was withdrawn.
Well, so we haven't voted on it yet, but the
Okay,
vote
well,
is to
I have a
withdraw.
motion, I have a motion to withdraw.
Right, so I was going to save discussion on this for when the item came up, but since it's up for withdrawal, I think we should have the discussion now.
Sure.
If that's all right.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear all the reasonings for it, but Chief, you're welcome.
So just briefly, the motorcycle at 60 miles an hour stops 20 feet sooner than the Harley. It's got crash bars on the side of it, so it's just a significantly safer motorcycle. It's the only reason that we want to transition to that bike. That bike is used by California Highway Patrol. It's used by more police departments across the globe than any other bike. We believe that it's probably cost neutral long-term, probably a savings, but ultimately the biggest deciding factor on wanting BMW is just because it's significantly safer. When you consider that stopping distance could mean somebody's life ultimately. So that's the only reason. There is BMW of North America, I understand. I would prefer made in America also. But if the bike is safer, then it's safer. BMW has a big North American footprint. It's a massive plant in South Carolina that employs thousands. They don't make the motorcycle there, but we do employ thousands of Americans as well. So just something for your consideration when you do decide to vote.
Do you know where in Europe the bike is made? Is it in Germany or one of the adjoining European countries they do?
I believe that it is Germany. There could be some components that come from somewhere else. Harley is made here, but they import components from Italy, Brazil, China as well. So some of the, as you know, Commissioner, sometimes they'll get one part from here, one part from there.
Yeah.
But predominantly Germany.
All right, Chief, we appreciate that information, and we'll certainly consider that in our decision when we bring it back. Maybe if you could sit down with some of us, certainly Commissioner Reyes, myself, anyone else that would want to see if there's anything that might be out there that could get close to this.
And I have, if anybody likes, I have additional information that I can send over. Any other
Yeah.
questions you may have, certainly we have that available
I have
too.
done also my research about it, and the additional cost also, and I'm getting it ready, prepping it up, is not included in the price that we were given. And besides that, I think that even if it is a small difference in prices, the American jobs that we will be saving is very important. And us being a governmental institution, and now that so many people have lost jobs, I think it will be very responsible on our part to be buying anything that is not made in the United States. It is my opinion, and in the county, only a small police department, which is North Bay Village, they have two. They bought two. And I've been in contact with other people, and what they're saying it is, in the long run, these motorcycles, and I didn't want to bring all of this because I think it is not needed, but it has so much electronics that even I spoke with people that own that type of bike, and they say that it is fantastic, but in the long run, maintenance is, and that's another question that I have. But I don't think that is needed. You see, my motion was to withdraw it, and if we get a second, we can vote on it.
There's a second to withdraw it, Commissioner.
And so we don't need a second at this moment. It's just going to be part of the order of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the entire agenda. I just wanted one more clarification. PH1 is the sole source on the helmets. Did you want to defer that item?
Yes, based upon what the chief said, that they're going to find out where exactly they're made at, and we'll bring it back at the next meeting.
January
With the bikes.
14th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chief, thank you very much for your
Thank you,
input.
guys.
Thank you very much, Chief.
So through the chair, Commissioner Arroyo want to defer both the helmets and the motorcycles?
The motorcycle will be withdrawn, the helmets will be deferred.
Yeah, the chief told us here that he would find out where they're made at, because nobody seems to know where they're made at.
All right, is there any further, do I have a motion on the order of the day, please?
No,
Second.
no, hold on a second.
Yes, Commissioner.
I would like to object to CA12 being deferred. I'd like to have some discussion on that item. That's the item dealing with.
Which one?
State lobbying
For the state
services.
lobbying services.
Yes, so
Because
you would like to hear that today?
I'd like to hear it today and have a conversation about it at least.
If that's okay, we'll pull that from the deferral and
Which
have a
one?
discussion.
He's got a right to pull it.
Yeah.
if he wants.
Which one is it?
This is the state lobbying,
lobbyist.
state lobbying pool.
State lobbyist.
Okay.
This is CA12. So we'll
CA12.
take that out of the deferral
Okay.
for order of the day. We will take that one up today.
Understand, Commissioner, the fact that I agree in taking it out is proper, because any one of us has that right.
Of course.
That doesn't mean that I'm going to be in agreement.
I know that. We all practice proper decorum here, I get it.
Okay.
Well, that's an old saying in Japanese business. When I say yes, it means I heard you. It doesn't mean I agree with you.
I like
Okay.
that. I'm going to use that.
So we have an order of the day.
We're okay with the Japanese. It's a little farther up,
That's
but
right.
we got a problem with.
Which is different China.
Well, in that case, I'd like to recommend the Suzuki Hayabusa motorcycle, which is the fastest motorcycle in the world, and it just happens to be a Japanese motorcycle. But we'll take that up at another time.
I'm only in love with the Japanese destroyers. They got about 40 of them, and, you know, they keep us safe.
They do. Yeah, they sure do.
Thank you. So is there a motion on the order of the day, please?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Reyes, seconded by Commissioner Correa earlier.
Okay, so the amendment doesn't need to be captured, it's just, we'll take out
Good to go.
CA 12 from the motion. We have a motion, we have a second. Is everyone clear? Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes, thank you. So, let us, oh, I'm sorry, are there any mayoral vetoes?
Chair, there are no mayoral vetoes.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to open up public comment for the day. Anyone who'd like to call in for public comment today, 305-250-5454.
Chair, and my apologies, we do have 5 call-in registered speakers, so if you would like to start with them first.
Yes, that's fine.
Call taker 2, you're live.
Sir, you can go ahead and speak now.
Good morning, Mayor and Commissioner. It's great to be with you on International Human Rights Day. My name is Orlando Gonzalez. I live at 180 Northeast 29th Street, Miami, Florida. My pronouns are he and él. I'm the Executive Director of Safeguarding American Values for Everyone. I'm also a member of the City of Miami's LGBT Advisory Board. Many thanks for your passage of the resolution to establish that board earlier this year. Today's mission is to promote, protect, and defend equality for people in South Florida who are LGBT. And today I'm here to support the resolution to have the City of Miami sign an amicus brief for the rehearing of the conversion therapy case in the 11th Circuit Court. I want to thank Mayor Suarez for his leadership in establishing the conversion therapy ban in the City of Miami, and to the commissioners on the dais who voted for that resolution in 2016. I also want to thank Commissioner Ken Russell for his public service leadership and for bringing today's resolution to fruition. This amicus brief signals how the City of Miami is first class, that we have an interest in protecting children from long-term harm that often leads to depression and suicide. The cost of those ailments to society is great and very grave. But it's important to note that this amicus brief signals something greater, and that's leadership. More than a dozen cities throughout the United States are lined up to sign onto this brief to strengthen the argument that protecting children is vital, especially when professional medical associations have made it clear that conversion therapy has tremendous adverse effects on minors. More cities will sign on when the City of Miami leads by example, given that 22 states, Puerto Rico, and Washington, D.C. have banned conversion therapy. Further, there are also 55 municipalities across the country, as well as 23 of those in Florida. I want to thank you all for your time, your attention, your leadership, and your action. Have a blessed day.
Call taker 1, you're live.
Okay, sir, you are live with commission. Please speak.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, commissioners, and welcome, Commissioner Watson. My name is Yoni Bornstein. I'm the president of the Wynwood Community Enhancement Association and a local property owner in Wynwood Norte at 3200 Northwest 2nd Avenue. I'm speaking today in support of items FR2 and FR3. FR2 and 3 are 2 remaining ordinances tied to the Wynwood Norte Neighborhood Revitalization District, which the Commission adopted unanimously last month. I've been in this neighborhood for a number of years now, and the neighborhood has many needs. The items before you today are about putting the tools in place to reinvest in the community, supporting this community with both its growth and its preservation. This is about supporting the parks, supporting the schools, the arts and culture organizations, the seniors and families, investing back into the neighborhood so everyone benefits. FR2 and FR3 are the tools that will ensure the NRD2 is a legacy for this community for years to come. The last point I want to make is about mobility and safe streets and how critical they are to this neighborhood. There are so many people in the neighborhood, both kids and elderly, that walk and use public transportation. FR2 is a tool that creates new revenues that will support these improvements. On behalf of the association and the community, thank you to Commissioner Watson, Commissioner DLP, Commissioner Reyes, Commissioner Carroyo, and Commissioner Russell for your support today on items FR2 and FR3. Go Wynwood Norte, home of the Clemente Pirates. Thank you very much.
Call taker 2, you're live.
Hello, ma'am. You're on live.
Hello, my name is Elisa Castro, address 47 Northwest 30th Street. I'm here working in Wynwood Norte for over 10 years to speak in support of FR2 and FR3 to support the Wynwood Norte Public Benefits and Parking Trust Fund. In participating in the Community Vision Plan process, it became clear that our neighborhood has many challenges and needs. The population has declined significantly. Home ownership is much lower. More and more vacant lots have spoken up, and there is no new housing being built in the neighborhood. Businesses struggle, schools are under-enrolled. We need to break the cycle. Through the Wynwood CEA, now there are many different types of people working together for positive change. Long-time resident business owners, property owners, working with the school, with the churches and cultural organizations to plan for a brighter future. With the Wynwood Norte NRD2, we now have an action plan that incorporates the community inputs over the past 2 years to bring our neighborhood back in a positive way. Safer sidewalks, new housing that as affordable to families, opportunity for small business, job for local residents. Times have changed. Miami has changed. It's time for Wynwood Norte to grow and evolve and to better serve the needs of the community. And that's what these items on today's agenda are all about. Thank you, Commissioners, and to Mayor Suarez for believing in this neighborhood. Please support Wynwood Norte and the items FR2 and FR3. Thank you for listening.
Call taker 1, you're live.
Speak. Sir, you are live with the commission.
Good morning, honorable commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Albert Garcia, 50 Northwest 24th Street, Miami, Florida. I'm the chairman and co-founder of the Wynwood Business Improvement District. Our 50 city block arts district is united in respectfully asking that you vote yes on agenda items CA7, SR1, SR2, PZ13, and PZ14 during today's meeting. By approving these ordinances, you will allow our community to implement a new Wynwood Streetscape Master Plan that would be the first of its kind in the United States. The implementation of this new plan will further enhance the pedestrian experience and quality of life of our residents, area employees, and millions of annual visitors. There will be new pedestrian-friendly streets, public green spaces, widened sidewalks, protected bicycle lanes, and district-wide signage to help guide pedestrians and motorists throughout the area. The Wynwood BID and our commercial property owners will be funding the construction and maintenance of these new improvements. Our community appreciates the hard work and effort of the Miami Planning Department and design firm Arquitectonica Geo for collaborating with us over the past 24 months to create this remarkable plan. Lastly, I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate our new District 5 Commissioner, Jeffrey Watson, on his recent appointment, and to Cesar Garcia Pons on his role as the new City Miami Planning Director. We sincerely wish both of you the very best in your new positions. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and to each of our 5 commissioners for your continued support of Wynwood and leadership during these unprecedented times. Please stay safe and healthy.
That was the last live callback.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone on the other live line? Are there any other calls?
Iliana Srozinski.
This is pre-recorded public comment, sir.
Southwest 29th Street. This is for the City Commission hearing for Thursday, December 10th, 2020, item 7677 and 7679. I've been following your progress on this thing since the meeting of July 1st, which I commented on about the traffic. I wanted to let you know that the picture that was shown on by the people that are doing this change, where a car is blocking the sidewalk, is a very old picture, because since July 1st, I have been driving through there looking specifically for people parking properly. That's an old picture. You should ask that question when that photo was taken. Secondly, the location may be close to Metro Rail, but getting close, crossing the street on Burt Road and Douglas, it's very difficult. I tell you that sometimes it takes me 10 minutes to cross the street. Additionally, my interest on this phone call is to find out where the traffic from that facility that you're constructing is going to exit on. I remember Mr. Dominguez mentioning that the traffic had lightened up because of COVID. That is not correct. The traffic still diverting from 37th Avenue instead of going to Burt Road on 40th Street at the light. They turn right on 29th Street from 37th Avenue, and then they either proceed straight on 29th Street to 38th Avenue, or they make a left turn on 37th Court to then approach Burt Road that way, avoiding the traffic light at Burt. Either way, it is creating an enormous amount of traffic on this area, specifically in that corner of 29th Street and between 37th and 38th Avenue. I would like...
Gracias, señorita. Soy Daniel Acosta. Quiero saber qué día entregan el auxilio para los que tuvimos problemas con el COVID. ¿Será que me pueden devolver la llamada? Quiero saber qué día para entregar la plata. Yo pertenezco al Distrito 2.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Michael A. Hepburn. My address is 645 Northeast 77th Street, and I am calling in today to talk about RE3. After visiting some of our locations that are distributing the public gift cards in my district, and also after seeing highlights from the mayor distribution event on TV, it is clear that the need in our city is huge in terms of the residents seeking assistance during this trying time. I know that during our November 18th special meeting, when the allocation of these funds were discussed, the plan was to distribute financial assistance to our residents throughout the city. But however, I do not recall that it was determined to provide the assistance in the form of a grocery gift card to be redeemed at just one grocery vendor, in this case, which is Publix. I would like to request today that our city commission change the scope of how the remaining $1.2 million or whatever money is left is used, so we can purchase cash gift cards instead, so our residents can determine the best way to cover the expenses that they need to meet, for instance, medicine or FT&L bill or food or something else. Also, I would like to request that the distribution logistics be improved as well. The current process of just having our residents stand in long lines while hoping that they make it to the front before the gift cards run out is not acceptable, definitely not during COVID-19. We can incorporate a number system, we can have scheduled appointment times. There is so many other adjustments that can be made to make it safer and better for our people. And I just want to say, if you guys need any assistance to help facilitate this process, please let me know. I'm definitely willing to help. Thank you so much.
Mark Bailey, Miami River Marine Group, 3033 North River Drive, Miami, Florida, 33142. This is regarding PZ16, Hotel and Lodging on Industrial Designated Land, amending Miami's comprehensive plan. The Miami River Marine Group is a Florida not-for-profit trade association that supports the Miami River marine industry. The organization includes shipping terminals, ocean cargo carriers, recreational boat yards, yacht repair facilities, marinas, construction companies, tugboat operators, marine suppliers, professionals, individuals, and area businesses. Important business segments of the Miami River marine industry, led by Antillean Marine Shipping, remain concerned that a potential loss of waterfront industrial property to hotel and lodging development could have unforeseen and possibly widespread implications on the marine industry on the Miami River. Consequently, the Miami River Marine Group advises the City Commission to pursue a careful study of this matter and delay action at this time on PZ 16. Thank you and stay safe during this pandemic. Mark Bailey, Miami River Marine Group, 3033 North River Drive, Miami, Florida, 33142. This is regarding PZ 8, Hotel and Lodging in Industrial Designated Land, amending Miami's zoning code. The Miami River Marine Group is a Florida not-for-profit trade association that supports the Miami River marine industry, and the organizations include shipping terminals, ocean cargo carriers, recreational boatyards, yacht repair facilities, marinas, construction companies, tugboat operators, marine suppliers, professionals, individuals, and area businesses. Important business segments of the Miami River marine industry, led by Antillean Marine Shipping, remain concerned that the potential loss of waterfront industrial property to hotel and lodging development could have unforeseen and possibly widespread implications on the marine industry on the Miami River. Consequently, the Miami River Marine Group advises the City Commission to pursue a careful study of this matter and delay action at this time on PZ 8. Thank you and stay safe during this pandemic.
Hello, Honorable City Commission. This is Brett Bebo, Managing Director of the Miami River Commission, with offices located at 1407 Northwest 7th Street. PZ 8 and PZ 16 are citywide ordinances which would hypothetically impact all parcels within the city of Miami, zoned D1, D2, and D3, with land use of industrial, for which the parcels along the Miami River are a very small minority of the city's total acreage. The subject citywide draft ordinance would require any riverfront proposal for a hotel on a property zoned D3 would have to be considered on its individual merits by the City Commission. Therefore, the Miami River Commission does not have an advisory recommendation on today's agenda items. In the future, if a riverfront D3 property owner applies to become a hotel, the Miami River Commission would consider that specific site and proposal at that time in order to provide the City Commission with our advisory recommendation. Your time and support for the Miami River are appreciated.
My name is Dr. David Polinsky. My address is 1040 Biscayne Boulevard. I'm one of the creators or founders of the Wynwood Bid and have been active in development of some boutique projects there for the past 7 years. I wanted to first of all congratulate and welcome our new D5 Commissioner, Jeffrey Watson, though we haven't met yet. Very much look forward to doing so at some point in the future. I'm speaking in support today of items PZ 13 and 14, which are the Wynwood Streetscape Master Plan legislative items. These items are the culmination of really 6 years of a collaborative effort between city staff, property owners, businesses, and residents towards the goal of completing a comprehensive master plan which matches the unique artistic history of the neighborhood. Among the achievements here in this final set of amendments, one of the items I'm most proud of is the unusual streetscape design which is being created through the streetscape standards. Unfortunately, the uniqueness, however, of these sidewalk and tree material and plant selections makes them more expensive to build than anywhere else in the city. But I'm very proud to say that both on behalf of my company and the other developers that I know that work in the area, we're all proudly supporting this legislation and are more than happy to pay for those items being implemented, and are really looking forward to building one of Miami's great neighborhoods together. Thanks so much. I hope you'll support it as well.
Hello, my name is David White, co-founder of Carpe Real Estate Partners. My address is 240 Northwest 25th Street. I'd like to start by welcoming and congratulating new D5 Commissioner Jeffrey Watson. We're all very much looking forward to working with you and to continuing to build upon this amazing community together. Secondly, I'd like to share my support for the Wynwood Streetscape Master Plan, items PZ 13 and 14. as not only a local developer, but a resident of Wynwood, I'm very committed to providing heavily landscaped, open public spaces in all of our projects. It's these kinds of improvements, if implemented, will help make up for the lack of trees, shaded community areas, and parks that Wynwood so desperately needs. I feel very strongly this is the type of enhancement to our community that should be definitely welcomed by all. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Hi, my name is Perla Soto. I'm the property owner of 2893 Southwest 37th Court, Miami 33134. I'm calling about the number 7677 and 7679 about a unit, multi-use unit being built at 2824 or 2822 Southwest 37th Avenue. My concern is about the traffic flow, how that's going to be addressed, if that's going to be increasing traffic off of 29th Street, or if it's going to stay on 37th Avenue. That is it. Thank you so much. Bye.
Hi, my name is David Lombardi of Lombardi Properties, 160 Northwest 26th Street. I'd like to start off by welcoming our new D5 Commissioner, Jeffrey Watson, to the neighborhood. Also would like to state my support for Streetscape Master Plan, items PZ 13 and 14. This is another tremendous step for the culmination of Wynwood and the vision that I've had personally for the area for the last 20 years. I began investing here in 2000, own several acres of property, and have dozens of tenants here, and was one of the founding members of the Wynwood Bid Board. I think this master plan for the streetscape is essential to give shade on these streets. This was never intended to be a pedestrian-friendly neighborhood. It was a light industrial neighborhood, and we've spent the last 20 years peeling it open like a flower and becoming the biggest destination in Miami. So the streetscape would be a tremendous help. The one-offs will be incredible, and I think it'll continue to build vibrancy throughout. Thank you so much for your support of this item. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Luis Quiroz, Puerto Rican Chamber of Commerce, based in Wynwood, Florida, as you know. I'm asking for your support of the SR3 and FR4 to establish a reinvestment component to what was voted on in the previous meeting to zoning in support of the establishment of the Wynwood Norte Neighborhood Revitalization District. Third point for us to move this forward, and I ask that you support the community and their request and their desire to help Wynwood help itself by stabilizing itself through this initiative. I think that with your support and your vote on it this time around, we can finalize and hopefully move forward on this initiative. And my work with Wynwood Borinquen Medical Center, Father Menendez, housing and economic development component of the area. Now we stand to really capitalize with this plan of action, moving this community forward. And I ask for your support after you vote yes on these initiatives. I want to thank the commissioners for their leadership. I want to thank the mayor for bringing this forward. And of course, we all win if we support it today. So thank you and God bless you.
My name is Father Jose Luis Menendez. I live in the 3220 Northwest 7th Avenue, Miami, Florida. I am calling you in behalf of Wynwood Norte. Dear Commissioners, on behalf of the Mission San Juan Bautista that is located within Wynwood Norte, I am speaking in support item FR3 and FR4. We are members of the Wynwood Community Enhancement Association, and we have been pleased to be a part of the Community Vision Plan on the various neighborhood enhancements. We are particularly excited about the new lighting and the new trash cans implemented along Northwest 2nd Avenue. We thank the city for his change and for the consideration of the implemented of the vision plan. The item for your consideration today are to continue the important work of the association in addressing the needs of this community, recognizing the importance of facilitating new investments and development that is compatible with the character of the neighborhood. Corpus Christi and Mission San Juan Bautista are always supportive of initiatives that enhance our neighborhood and the life of all residents who work and live in the neighborhood. Thank you for your listening, and God bless you.
Welcome and congratulations, Commissioner Jeffrey Watson. My name is Gabriele Braha. I am part of the Wynwood bid and property owner. We have different lots in Wynwood, and one of them is on 300 Northwest 29th Street. I'm calling, supporting the Wynwood Streetscape Master Plan items PZ 1, 3, and 14. We're very excited about the new street plan, and especially for the Wooners, and of course for me, myself, the one on 3rd Avenue, which will be the first Miami first pedestrian street. We're very excited about that and in great support about this initiative. Thank you very much, and we're looking forward to improve our neighbor. Thank you.
My name is Ruby Mendez. I live at 42 Northwest 35th Street, Miami, Florida. I live in this community for 35 years, and we support the NRD2 because it's going to be affordable for us, like housing, stores, prevent crime, and a lot of things that we need to be done in this neighborhood.
Hi, my name is Eli Bumasar. My address is 3012 Northwest 2nd Avenue. I've been in this neighborhood for 8 years. I support 100% the supporter for NRD2, and I appreciate what they're trying to do. Business is kind of slow nowadays. We need to improve the neighborhood and improve the area, and do the best you can.
Hi, I'm Nadine Free. I own a Jamaican restaurant in Wynwood. It's called Palatino Jamaican Restaurant, and the address is 3004 Northwest 2nd Avenue. And we've been around for more than 8 years, and we have the best hands-down upscale in Miami. And we strongly support the NRD2 because hopefully they can help us bring more people in the area and support all the small businesses in the area, and especially in these times. So come in and try our food and support the community, because this restaurant is more than just a restaurant. It's a community. I just pay for different artists on the wall to help them out, and it's a community. Come on in.
Hello and welcome and congratulations, new Commissioner Jeffrey Watson. My name is Sherry Nassani. I represent a property located in Wynwood at 2825 Northwest 2nd Avenue, also known as Ducati Building. I wanted to leave a message in regards to my support for the Wynwood Streetscape Master Plan, items PZ13 and PZ14. As a developer in the neighborhood, I support this effort greatly. The creativity of the tree types and creating this uniformity throughout the neighborhood will help the neighborhood greatly, and I think it should be adopted in full form at the hearing. Thank you so much.
My name is Edward Ballard. I live on 3300 Northwest 6th Avenue, Miami, Florida, 33127. Born and raised in this neighborhood, in Wynwood. And I really like to make the neighborhood better, and I approve the NRD-2. I really like it to get this all the way fixed, and I want to get older on this neighborhood.
Chair, that concludes the pre-recorded public comment.
Thank you very much.
Any?
Do we have anyone live on the line who would like to speak to public comment? Good morning, you're live with the commission.
morning, Commission. My name is Lance Burson, and my company is Global Star Ventures, and my address is 35 Northeast 26th Street. I'm an active investor and developer in the Wynwood area. I'm here to respectfully ask to approve agenda items PZ 13 and 14, the Wynwood Streetscape Master Plan, and the NRD 1 proposed changes. Wynwood is a globally recognized world-class destination, one of the fastest growing urban neighborhoods in the entire country, with over 5 million people visiting on an annual basis. By implementing the Wynwood Streetscape Master Plan with these winners to allow for pedestrian-friendly streets, sidewalks, tree canopies, and amazing living streets that will come to life, I believe it's a much-needed, incredibly unique addition to the Wynwood neighborhood. Furthermore, most of what I focused on and worked on is on the adaptive reuse type projects. Under the new proposed NRD 1 changes, it will allow property owners like myself to take advantage of the bonus density increase and will allow these numbers to work. I really believe that once this is approved, it will incentivize developers like myself and investors to fast-track the overall development of Wynwood. Again, I'm here to fully support and truly hope agenda items PZ 13 and 14 are approved. And in closing, I just want to thank you for your time today. Keep up the great work that you do for our city and that we live in. Happy holidays.
Thank you very much for your comments. Is there anyone else for public comment?
And Chair, if I may, is there anyone in the chambers that wanted to speak during the public comment period? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. That concludes public comment for this meeting. Gentlemen, is there anything on the consent agenda that you'd like to pull to discuss separately? Yes. Which item?
C9 and C12, 10.
Miami Marlins and the amicus curiae brief for Boca Raton.
Nope. C10, I think, is different.
That's the one on conversion therapy.
No. That one, I have no problem. It's
Okay.
C11, I apologize.
So the Marlins settlement, CA9 will pull from the consent agenda, and CA11 tomorrow will pull from the consent agenda. Anything else to pull? That being said, can I get a motion on the remainder of the consent agenda?
The motion.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion on any of the items on the consent agenda? Nope. Thank you very much. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Commissioner, you are recognized on CA9 Miami Marlins settlement.
Thank you. Look, I really would like for this to be deferred for the January meeting. There's a lot of questions that I still have on this item. And let me say this on the record. One of the biggest concerns that I have is that while the settlement, as I understand it, or I believe anyway, is with the former owners of the Marlins, Loria, the ones that did this great deal for themselves and not for the city or the county. I want to know what effect the new ownership had, because it concerned me greatly what I had read back when this whole thing came about and we sued, that the present ownership had opened up corporations in the British Virgin Isles, where it's probably one of the 3 hardest places to find and get information from. And I don't know why that was done. I don't know if that had any effect in what we needed to have on this deal. I know that, at least that's what the paper stated, that the individual that recommended this to the Marlins and was a minority partner of theirs that lives in Margarita Isle in Venezuela. But I just like to get more information to see if we should settle this now or if we need to move forward a little more and the effect of what I just described. But it just doesn't give me a good feel of why anybody wants to open up corporations so that we can't get into the dealings over in the British Virgin Isles.
If I may.
You're recognized.
May I add to that is, we all know that that was a horrible deal. I mean, it's one of the worst deals that the city ever did. And I think the city was taken for it right. But I want to know, you see, I'm a numbers person. I would like to know how did we arrive at this amount? You see, I mean, what percentage and how it is a settlement? It is, I mean, where we could we have gotten more? I want a clarification on how we arrived at this amount of $162,800. And so I move for deferred. If Commissioner, you agree with it? You want to defer it?
Yes, I do.
I move for deferred.
There's a motion and a second, I assume?
Yes.
To defer CA9, City of Miami Settlement with Miami Marlins. Any further discussion on the dais? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? What date is it, please?
It's the 10th today.
No, thank you. I do get lost every once in a while. What date would you like to defer it to? January 14th?
If we could defer to the end of January?
The second meeting in January,
Second
please?
meeting?
January 28th.
Yes. Give us enough time, because
Yes, and more
frankly,
information on it.
we're all going to be very busy passing out the vouchers, food, and everything. In fact, the quicker we get done today, I could jump at that, because we're putting together a lot of food bags.
Got it. Motion and a second to defer CA9 to January 28th, sir. 28th. Thank you very much. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes on CA9. Commissioner, you wanted to talk about CA11.
I do, Commissioner, and I want to be, and please believe me in this, I want to be very respectful of anything you put forward and in helping and working with you and being in the same side. I have concerns in this and the impact that it might have citywide with CUs and so on. And I would imagine this is in your district, right? Okay.
Yes, it's also in the Omni CRA.
Okay. Well, if it's the Omni CRA, the new ordinance that we passed will not affect this. But what you're asking is in addition to that, then, I gather, right?
Yes, it's unrelated.
Is there any way that we could put this in the 14th so we could work through the legal department, and if need be, we could have a meeting in the sunshine, you and I afterwards, if it's possible? And it could wait until the 14th.
I'm happy to discuss it a little bit here to see if there is a timeliness issue that I'm not aware of, whether it can wait. I was told they'll be out of compliance even for any activity if they don't get this at this point. But regardless of this, they do have some other compliance issues they need to come into with the building department.
Well, that's my concern.
Yes.
And I don't know anything about these individuals. I just know this, that we have a handful of people throughout the city that have acted like they could do whatever they please. And more than that, they're in the alcohol business. So I'm concerned that we're not opening up Pandora's box with this, that I have no idea how many citations they've had or, what problems they've had. And, I want to work with you, but I'm just concerned of opening Pandora's box, and I want legal to be able to walk me through this and see how we could find a way that, we could get whatever the goal that you might have accomplished without hurting.
Understood. So this, this is a small mom and pop organization meant to activate an unused lot. It's the Tomorrowland spot that's right across from the CRA offices. And so they applied for a CRA grant that actually helped them move into that spot. CRA helped them with the build-out. The temporary event permit and waiver was to allow them to do outdoor operations, but yes, they do have building and permit issues to comply with to make sure. And so regardless of this item, if they get this item, they'll be able to operate outside. If they still need to work on some building permit issues for their inside, they would not be able to utilize their inside. But they have outdoor space and they have sort of a food truck there. So,
But food trucks, I think in Wynwood is different. They can use food trucks, right?
All right, so through the chair,
yes, you're recognized.
let me just, it's a small family operation. They have been operating restaurant Miami Beach for 30 years.
In where?
In
Miami
Miami
Beach.
Beach for
Miami
30
Beach,
years.
yeah.
And they came in and activated a location that had been vacant probably for about 30 years. And not the family, but a component of the family. I think that the wife has been doing the best she can in working with city officials, and then they leave. And so I like to see them, I know them, be allowed to continue to work through those issues, to be in compliance, so that they can operate. I understand Commissioner Carollo's concern, I agree with him, but they're just some little guys trying to make a, keep living.
Are they,
They have, just to point this out, because I know that term gets thrown around, and I don't know if there's any others, but they were affected also. There's 2 operations that have a food truck for their kitchen, but it's not a food truck. And one was Versasur in Wynwood, and these guys. So they used a trailer as their kitchen. You have to order from their people. You can't just go to that trailer. So they're trying, and they've tried to stay open during the pandemic, the whole thing. They've been in compliance. And so I'm familiar with them as a family and their operation. And I'd like to see us work to make sure that they don't get closed. They've been closed down necessarily a lot. So
if I could say that, Madam City Attorney, would it be appropriate if a resolution is made to approve this? Whereas in the resolution, we would say that if after a year they're not in compliance, we're not bringing this up again.
Placing conditions.
And, the conditions. And furthermore, that this is a one-time exception, and we will not be making any more exceptions like this anywhere else in the city.
So the waiver of the special event is something we do quite regularly if someone needs it. So but that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about while they have other issues to work through with the building.
True, and the special events, we waive from time to time, but not for a whole year. See, what I'm concerned with is the consequence that it would have. I understand these are small people, they're trying to make a living, but then you got some other different characters in different parts of the city, in several of our districts, that they have other intentions, and they're not small-time operators, they're scoundrels, and they're looking at every angle to violate the law and get away with it. And in fact, some have been doing it for years, until recently.
If it could give you comfort, I'll recommend an amendment that states that this does not waive their necessity to comply with all of the building code and permitting processes. What this will do is allow them to operate outside in an event type of manner, not as an indoor establishment. And so it actually addresses your concern without creating an open, free-for-all for anyone.
But can we include in there that this is one-time exception that we're not going to be doing anymore at this wide level? This doesn't include that from time to time, like when we have events in Wynwood that we've done, we
waive the special event.
waive a special event, but not for a whole year straight through.
Got
That's
it.
what I'm talking about.
Yes, this has been used as a loophole to keep them open as a temporary, a special event for a long term. You're absolutely right.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, you're
Mr. Chair, I think that the question here is if, to the city attorney, if by issuing this permit or this exception, that would give sufficient grounds to other people to try to do the same in other areas. And the only thing that I would recommend, and I agree, we have to help these people. I'm all for it. But would you place some, I would say, limits or language that anybody that wants to do that must come, cannot use this, but must come before us, you see, to request this type of exception. I said, make them in a way that we are not going to preclude because we don't know what's going to happen in the future, who's going to need it, you know. But just make it in a way that it is us who have to decide that this action cannot be used by other people. You see, I said, well, if you did it here, why don't you do it here to me? I don't know if I'm explaining myself, but
you are. Just remember what this item does. This item just waives the time limit so that they could continue applying for their special event permits.
Okay.
So to the extent that you're not comfortable with a year, you could do 3 months, you could do 6 months. It just waives the time limits. That's what it's doing so that they could continue applying for these special permits because you're only allowed 2 per property per year.
And this doesn't actually give them the temporary permit. This just allows them to apply. They still need to apply for the temporary permit.
That's it.
So it could be a shorter amount of time. It could be 4 months. It could be 5 months. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Well, I do believe, and I agree with Commissioner Watson, we should help, you see, these small operators that have been there for a while, and also help them try to clear all the problems that they have with the city of Miami. You see, we should support them. We got to support all small operators too.
If I can, Mr. Chairman, ask you, do they serve alcohol there?
They do.
Okay. Beer and wine or full alcohol?
I believe they have a full alcohol.
Okay. Okay, so, again, if we stay within the year, I have no
Thank you.
problem with that, but I would like to include something that would not make this into a Pandora's box, that this would be limit to the, this is right next to Wynwood, or is it?
It's across the street from the CRA office. It's on North Miami Avenue and 14th Street.
All right, that, this would be limit to this location only, one time, and we're not going to be bringing this up again for anybody else that comes. And including here that this is being done because it's a small, can we say mom and pop business?
Husband and wife.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
But I think if we do it in such a way that it's approved for that reason, the hardship of a mom and pop business, not a huge establishment that knows better, and make it clear it's been done, this is being done for this and only this, we should be safe, and I hope everybody will be happy.
Thank you. Is it a motion on CA 11?
I just
I
wanted to.
have a question
Yeah.
for clarification, Mr. Chair. It's your
You
item,
recognize
it's your district, but it's also the Omni CRA. And obviously, one of the things that we're trying to do at the Omni CRA in your district is revitalize that community and those neighborhoods. So I don't think that we should deal with these issues as, one brush for everyone, the entire city. I think there are, you're correct, scoundrels and people that do bad actions, but there are also a lot of mom and pops that are trying to survive and trying to create businesses and revitalize the economy in these particular the distressed areas. So I agree with you what you're saying, Commissioner Carollo, but the one-time exception for this particular business, I don't necessarily agree, because they may still need it next year.
Well, then let's look at it next year.
Right.
You get it for the year, and you know, we have a resolution that we could change if need be, but in the meantime, you have certain protection. Madam City Attorney.
Commissioner, I just wanted to point out that this provision of waivers, it's allowed pursuant to the city code. So even, we really can't, when these come up, you have to take them up on a case-by-case basis based on what's
Yeah, but-
happening.
but-
So I don't want to mislead you that we're limiting it to this. It's pursuant to the code that you,
Yeah, but within the code, it's only been usually for small times, you know, for a few days, for special events and so on.
correct. That's why you could limit the amount of time. That, I just wanted to
Yeah, but the
clarify.
problem is, in this case, we know where the situation is. That's why we didn't want to go that route, as I understand, from what Commissioner Watson has stated and the chair, Commissioner Russell. So by giving something so long, I wanted to give certain protection. And maybe we could then put that as the intent of the commission to keep this to small mom and pop businesses. Would that work? And what I don't want to see, look, Miami Beach, and we're all reading what's happening, they're getting rid of all these clubs. They've had enough of them. And I don't want some of our neighborhoods to get full of discotheques and clubs, and the only monies they bring is to themselves. None of the other business get a piece of it, because this is all late at night. And if they're near residential areas or within the residential areas, then it becomes a pure hell for the residents, and no one protects them. So what I'm trying to do is put some protection for our residents. Mom and pops, I understand, it's a different situation. But I'm afraid of what's happening, that we have to put some safeguards in some of our neighborhoods, so we don't end up, you know, being party land, because we have good areas, but with property values that are still relatively cheap. So all these discotheques, nightclubs, they start coming in some of our areas, and in residential areas, it changes it all. This area here, I don't believe is residential at all, is it? Okay, so that's another difference that I think we should include in the resolution, that this is also a non-residential area. And so that's what I'm trying to protect.
I understand that. Commissioner's looking for wording that doesn't make this a blanket resolution that could apply to everywhere, but that there is a justification for his support of this that wouldn't be construed as a conflict of other things that you're working on, because the code is obviously very important to you and that we follow it. Once they get all of their final permitting, they won't need the temporary event system anymore, will they? Because they'll just simply be a fully established establishment. Am I correct? Okay, zoning director is nodding, so I'll take that as a yes from the zoning administration. But I'm very comfortable with this, knowing the operation that they have going on there, what they're doing and providing for the community and trying to activate. Now we have just a couple. We're bringing in new businesses and jobs on the street, and it is hard to get them fully compliant. So it's up to us within the department, within the CRA administration, to help guide them, you know, to get the right permitting and everything. And these temporary event type of activations is sort of almost like a pilot to see if it's an incubator for this business. Is it work in this community before they go full on into all the applications and impact fees of becoming a full establishment? Is the neighborhood ready for them, and are they ready for this spot? And when the shoe fits, we can pull the trigger and really help them. But I do appreciate the support for what the Omni's trying to do to bring businesses in. They wrote 15 small business grants in the last year. and that's really helped bring new jobs. So I look forward. I didn't realize they had these compliance issues, and I look forward to helping them try to navigate that. So I don't know if the wording that you've requested would actually cause any issues with this resolution. And if in a year they're still having problems, I think then we have a problem. If they're not able to get the types of permits they need to open a small establishment within a year, there's something we need to address about our process.
Well,
So,
through the chair,
yes.
it is. I have someone in my district that's been trying to open up a prefab national chain franchise. They've been trying to do it for 3 years. So I'm going to defer to Commissioner Carollo's efforts.
Commissioner, can you speak straight here? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me better
now
now?
we can, yes.
We do have a problem that we have to work on, all of us. I have a prefab national chain that's been trying to open up in my district for 3 years. Okay? So we do have a problem. So to the extent we can help out smaller folks through these issues, then it would behoove us to try to do that. And I guess Madam City Attorney will ensure that what the Commissioner is trying to address can be addressed.
Thank you, and I do agree with you that there is a problem. It is a big.
We'll draft we'll add to the resolution that because there are no residents in the area, because of the type of business, because all these issues as to why it was extended up to a year or a year.
Commissioner Diaz-Portillo, are you comfortable with that amendment?
Well, it depends how you define the area, right? There are condominiums there for rent that has come up on the past 4 or 5 years. So there are residents there, but not residential houses.
Yeah, it doesn't meet the.
Right, so it's residential zoning, not.
Right, affected,
Yeah,
that are complaining about the.
Correct. Well,
Yeah, you don't have T5s or less there.
Right, correct, right. So not residents, a different word, yeah. Okay.
We good?
Okay, let's move it.
All right, we do have a motion and a second on this.
I didn't capture that.
Let me ask, actually.
Oh, we had a motion, but we did not get to a second before discussion, so.
I just thought of a question.
Yeah.
What happens if a national chain or a big company, big entity, comes and wants to invest in the Omni CRA and wants to build something and wants to use one of these permits? So it doesn't fall under the mom and pop definition. A legitimate player from outside comes and wants to invest here. Would this preclude him from using this method available to only mom and pops now?
Okay, and that's what I was trying to explain. This is a provision that's pursuant to our city code.
Correct.
What the commissioner wants to put in this resolution so that it's not inconsistent with the other positions that he's taken in the past about protecting the residents, he wants to make sure that the reason why something like this is this long, right, in time, is because in this particular situation, it is a small mom and pop company. They are, hasn't been any residents that are affected by the noise or the establishment, those type of things as to why he is voting for this item. But if somebody comes in pursuant to our city code, they have the ability to have special events for a longer period of time, waive the time restrictions, but they have to come to you, and then you will look at the item and say whether or not you want to vote on that item.
Okay. No, thank you.
Get it.
So who was the mover on the original, to remind me? Commissioner Reyes, all right. Is there a second to the item?
Second.
Thank you, and the amendments have been captured. Is there any further discussion on the item? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That's CA 11 as amended, passed. Thank you
Chair,
very
I'm
much.
sorry, Madam City Attorney, you're good to go with the amendments? Okay.
All right, we're moving to the public hearing agenda. We've had some of these items deferred. There's only one item, and then we have the RE agenda with one item that's been withdrawn. Can I get a motion to pass the remaining PH and RE items, which would be PH2, RE1, and RE3?
So move.
Moved by Commissioner Watson.
Whoa, hold on. RE1 is the adopted budget.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to talk about that.
Well,
Okay, so let's just do
Yeah.
PH2 at this point. Is there a motion to move PH2?
RE1 is the new adopted budget.
Correct, so
Yes.
we'll wait on that for a second.
Yes,
that's
please.
going to require conversation.
Okay.
That will, that's got to be pulled.
so we're only doing now PH2, the item.
PH2, and then we'll take up RE1 and RE3 separately, independently. So is there a motion on PH2?
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Watson, second by Commissioner Diaz de la Portilla. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes on PH2. Let's take up RE1, please, the 2020-2021 adopted budget.
What, if I may?
Is there, let me just start with, is there a motion, or we just want to start with discussion?
Oh, discussion.
All right.
Discussion.
You recognize Commissioner Diaz de Portilla, and then
Frankly,
Commissioner.
I'm not sure if I'm ready to vote for this, because, you know, I've never seen this done before this way. So, Commissioner, go ahead and start. And
Yeah,
I'll go
I had,
forward.
and I agree with you, Commissioner, I had some concerns, serious concerns yesterday during the briefing, because we weren't, during the briefing, we weren't given, you know, Mr. Casamayor, a specific line item of everything that you're reincorporating. You went over the police officers and the firefighters and all that stuff, but the specific areas, I asked you about 2 or 3 different areas that are you budgeting for now or not? And I also requested you provide me this by this morning, a list of all the cuts that were restored when we found those 20-something million dollars that have been lost by Mr. Rose before he departed. Or departed the city, he hasn't departed us, but he departed the city. And so I would like to know if you can, maybe you or whoever in budget wants to go through in detail what those changes are and what each department, not only by department, but by position and department, so we can know exactly where you're allocating dollars to right now. We had also spoken a little bit, a couple of details about my district in particular, the district I represent, District 1, about the pool at Grapeland Park as an example. Just as a minor, it was a $500,000 allocation, but that wasn't in this proposed amendment to the adopted budget. So I want to know what you've done, and I want the whole commission, I said yesterday that it's important for me that the entire commission see the specifics of what you're proposing, because these are major changes, and it amounts to, I think it was it 12 million, or around 12 million?
12.7, I believe.
How much?
12.7.
12.7, yeah, so it's $12.7 million. So before we just do this so quickly, it's important to talk about the 12.7, where they're going, especially in these tight economic times. So if you can do that for us, I would really appreciate it.
And I guess through the chair, point of clarification, is this the 2021 budget that's
Yes.
already been approved?
Yes, this is a changes that are cuts that are being restored into the budget.
I see, because I was told this was a procedural issue.
No.
Obviously, it's not.
No.
In Tallahassee, we call them technical amendments. When you don't want to have debate, you say, this is a technical amendment.
Here's
You get the
problem.
Jedi mind trick? There's nothing to see here. Don't worry.
Here's the problem that I'm having, gentlemen. And, you know, I don't know much about budgets, but I was elected twice to be mayor. I was chairman of a commission, this commission in the past. I was vice mayor a couple of times. This is my 4th term as commissioner. And I'm the only one here that's been a city manager. And has done 2 budget amendments in 2 years as city manager. So, you know, maybe I know a little bit about this. And first of all, the first question I'd like to ask is, how much money did the former director find in his back pocket all of a sudden that we were told? What was the amount?
22 million?
I believe the difference between the May projection that we gave the city commission to the final,
I want numbers. I don't want, difference. I'm kind of tired this morning, so I don't want to be adding and subtracting and multiplying and dividing.
right, I believe the difference is a $27 million difference. Yes.
Okay, 27 million. Do we have anybody in budget here anywhere? Or are they at home?
No, sir, we have our interim budget director, Mr. Leon Michel, here.
Okay, see here?
Yes, he is.
Can you confirm the amount, if it was 27 or if it was 28 million?
I think we got $27 million.
How much?
27.
27 million, okay. And the amendments that you're presenting is 12.7?
12.7.
Okay, so where is the difference of 14.3 going to?
No, that difference stay in the account called reserve for uncollectible.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to get one of these masks. I'll be happy to get my office, because that one's not coming out. I don't want you to do that either, because we're making
I'm sorry,
people put it-
Commissioner. The difference, that difference will stay.
Can we get him, any one of my masks? Maybe someone in my office could bring him one?
Sir, the difference will stay in the city's fund balance. So, I mean, we had $27 million that came in that we weren't anticipating. The difference would stay in the city's fund balance. We would take,
But then why aren't you presenting this here also?
right, because we don't need to allocate that amount because we're not planning on spending it.
No,
It
but
just
we
stays
have
on
to
the fund
approve,
balance.
we have to approve that also. The commission gets to approve that also.
There's a reason, but that's not, my main commissioner, because I had this discussion with him yesterday in the briefing. That's why I wanted this to happen today, because I knew that almost every commissioner here would have objection to this. There's a reason why you're holding on to that money, right?
Yes, sir.
And we want to know that reason.
But whatever the reason is,
Well, it's
Commissioner,
important. No, but it's important.
yeah,
It's
we
important.
get to approve.
Of course, but I think it's important for the commission to know why they're holding on to the money. What are you planning to do with those dollars?
So the recommendation that we have is to keep our reserves at a significant level in case the financial situation that we still aren't clear from continues to goes worse. I mean, this would stay in our fund balance. We've been able to build our fund balance over the years. So I think it's prudent that we continue to try to bolster our fund balance in case we have to spend this money on other items. But again, it is up to the commission with what they would like to do.
Didn't we have a conversation about some dollars you were reserving for some land acquisitions or something else of that nature?
Yes, in this item also, we would be transferring $45 million from the building reserve to a capital project to purchase, build, design a building facility.
That's a different item.
That's a different.
A different item that we have in the agenda.
No, I know, but it's all related, because if you're putting money in reserves and you're allocating 45 million, the money is all related. What we're talking about is they're putting money in reserves and they're spending 45 million on something else.
Yeah, but with all respect, it's different.
No,
Because
it's
the
not.
45 million is coming from building in something else.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have that in a separate item today to deal with.
It's a
Correct.
protected account.
That we need to discuss fully.
Correct.
But my problem right now is that the 14.3, and I have no problem putting in the reserve. This is what I think we need to try to do. Because we don't know what this coming budget is going to be like. We might not have a budget director that finds another 27 million in his back pocket or in his coat. But my problem is that you can't do that. You have to present it to the commission for us to approve. Furthermore, here's the biggest problem that I have right now. We approved a budget that did not have these $27 million. The budget that was approved said that we were going to lay off, I think, something like 66 police officers, freeze other positions that might have brought it up to 100 or so, freeze I don't know how many positions in the fire department and more. I gave up a lot of money from my district to try to help the city meet its obligations. Others did too. And we cut back everywhere. And then comes October 1st, after this commission had approved a budget that this administration had to abide by, nobody was laid off, except the people that were cut before, that I guess the administration wanted out. No police officer was laid off, Nobody else in the group was laid off. You kept spending without any authorization because there was no budget approval for that. And my question is, you're in violation of a balanced budget if you're spending money that you didn't have. So apparently, somebody had to know, beginning October 1st, that we had that money somewhere and that we had no problem going on and keep paying all these employees and other expenses without commission approval because it was not budgeted. So everything that was spent from October 1st to today has been done in violation of the budget approval that this commission made without commission approval. And I've never seen that done before, never in my life, in 40 plus years that I've been in and out of government or in any of the positions that I've had, including city manager. And I'd like to have an answer for that. Did someone know that we had the money and we weren't told about it? Because at the end of the day, how in the heck, when we negotiate, again, contracts with our unions, can we look them in the eye with a straight face if we have to tell them for the next budget that, hey, we're hurting, we got to do this? They're going to laugh at us, say, hey, you pulled that on us the last time, and you had the money. And furthermore, I'm not going to sit here and just have the administration all of a sudden throw at the last moment $12.7 million to spend in whatever way you want without us being able to analyze it and see if some of the dollars that were taken from us we still need this year or not. So this is not going to work for me today. I'm not ready to vote in something like this today until I have the time to truly analyze it during the holidays. We can bring it back January 14th. You've been operating in violation of the budget that we approved anyway. So if you do it, another month, it's not going to matter anyway. But this is not the way to run a show. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be harsh. I know and I respect that the city manager is at home with COVID, and I don't want to cause any additional stress to him with this, but we can't go on working like this. The commission, whether people understand it or not, is the one that approves budgets here. I'm not here to come and just rubber stamp anything anybody gives me. So,
is there a motion on?
Motion to defer this item.
May I just address a couple of the concerns that you had?
Just a moment, get the motion out of the way. Is there a second to the motion? Seconded by Commissioner
second.
Reyes. Open for discussion. You recognize Mr. Casamayor.
And I understand the scrutiny that this commission wants to put onto this budget, and I appreciate it.
That scrutiny, Mr. Assistant Manager, is an obligation that we have.
I understand.
Because we run for office. We're the ones that the residents come to and hold accountable. You don't run for office. In fact, all you guys don't even live in the city of Miami. And I respect that, but we have the obligation to deal with this budget. And I'm not going to give that up to bureaucrats. It's my obligation and their obligation. And certainly the mayor could veto anything we do. And he gets override or he doesn't get override, but that's the process that we have.
Understood, sir. So just a couple of items. When we put this budget together that was approved in September, there was some money set aside for the timing of all of these actions to have to take place, because we can't lay someone off on October 1st. There's a process that takes a little bit.
Fernando, look, right off the bat, you're going off the road. And a little bit more, you're going to go off the bridge. because when this commission approved that budget, beginning October 1st, the only thing you could have done is what was approved in the budget. Otherwise,
You have to amend it.
we lied to the state in what we had.
Yes.
So
May I ask?
whatever reasons you're given, the authorization wasn't there. And if the former budget director said he was or whatever, they were wrong. Should have gone to the city attorney and found that out. And I'm sorry, if you had to have laid off people, that's what this commission voted upon based on the information you gave us. And that's what needed to be done. And then if you find the money, you bring them back. But obviously, somebody knew we had the money, because how can you keep people for this time, and then how do you balance the books at the end of the year if we didn't have the 27 million?
Mr. Chair,
You're recognized.
I think the will of the body is apparent. I think we defer the item and we move on, and then they come back with a thorough explanation when you come before us, a line item of what you're doing, what you're reallocating or putting back in the budget, and if perhaps during the course between now and then, if commissioners in particular have some things in their districts that they want to refund, because now we have additional dollars out of that reserves, that we can have that conversation too during this process. I agree with Commissioner Carollo and Commissioner Reyes. I also support the idea that we defer this for now.
Thank you. Mr. Casamayor, is there a time sensitivity on any of these items that will be jeopardized for deferral?
The only time sensitivity is on the $45 million transfer from the building fund to a capital project, because...
It's a different item.
No, sir, it isn't as part of RE1.
That's a problem.
Was that put in there?
It's in RE1. You could bifurcate that
right.
item.
That's what's going to be my question.
Well, that's the issue.
I don't know.
That's why I brought it up.
One at a time, please.
That's why I brought it up. It is the same item, and that's a danger that we have.
I'm sorry, and I stand corrected. It's the same item then. I thought it was in a different item. If it's in the same one, then we would have to just deal with that alone.
Bifurcated. Mr. Sharon.
Yes, I apologize. Commissioner Reyes, you're recognized.
No, you aren't ignoring me all day. You know.
I'm sorry, sometimes it's difficult to hear with our salad bar guards up here.
Yeah, but I'm accustomed, you know. I don't hold no grudge against you for doing it. I would like to sit down, you see, and there are questions that are now they're popping to my mind. Obviously, Commissioner Diaz-Era Portilla knew about a project, $45 million that we are going to go and purchase. That's going to be for, I don't know, a building or whatever it is, that investment. I've never been informed of that.
Well, let me be clear. I think, sorry, Mr. Chief.
No, I'm not saying that, nothing against you.
No, it's not against me. Let me be clear. I wasn't informed about it. I had to ask about it.
Okay.
And that's my complaint.
And then it is my bad.
No, we shouldn't have to ask.
Absolutely.
We should be given a detailed presentation during our briefings of where you're going to put those dollars. Because as Commissioner Carollo said, we're the ones that allocate the dollars here. It's not you guys. So when you have a presentation, you don't say, hey, we're doing this as a budget amendment and pretend that it's a technical amendment, that it's not substantive in nature, when it is very substantive in nature, it impacts real people every day in each one of our districts. So when you present to us, you have to tell us, this is what we're doing, this is what we're cutting, in your district, Commissioner Reyes, and your district, Commissioner Carollo, and 3 and 1 and 4 and 5, this is what happens. For example, I found out that there...
Well,
hold on, let me finish, please, just 1 minute.
You interrupted me.
I know, I did, but let me finish the interruption. Let me finish. So, in my district, I found out that they had closed the dump on 20th Street. And it's been closed since November, the beginning of November, until I got a call 2 weeks, about almost 2 weeks ago. They said, hey, it's closed. I didn't know it was closed. They didn't even tell me it had been closed.
Okay.
And that's a dump that everyone in the city of Miami uses because it's free and because most of our residents go there. Because when they did the budget cuts, when the money was lost, that was found later on, they went to every head of every department and said, what do you recommend we close? And the head of that particular department, Mr. Nunez, recommended, hey, close the dump. And the head of parks said, close Grapeland Pool. And all these bureaucrats made these decisions without sitting with the commissioners from those, duly elected commissioners of those districts, and said, hey, in District 5, we want to do this, in District 3, we want to do this, so we can at least have our input and give our opinion, which is our constituents' opinion, because we represent them. And that's my beef here. And that's why I interrupted, because it bothers me.
Commissioner, let me
that
finish.
we have to ask the questions, that we have to,
Yes.
and ask, and then a second question, or a follow-up question to get the straight answer.
Okay, but let me finish my line of thought.
Yes, sir.
You see, remember, I'm old. I might lose it. You know, I mean, you went on this diatribe and all. I know that you are emotional and all that. But let me finish. Okay. You see,
Listen, you're serving lunch. We are not ignoring you today, so you have the floor for as long as you want it. You have the gavel.
I mean, you ignoring me, and now Commissioner Diaz de la Portilla interrupting me and keep on going. And you know, my mind, I mean, I might wonder it's something else. You know, given my age. No, what I want to say, Fernando, is that what I would like is, in order to avoid all this in the future, stick with every single one of us. And if you have any plans that certain funds are going to be used in a certain way, we should know beforehand. I mean, we are elected officials, as Commissioner Carollo said, and very well stated by the senator. You see, we need to know, we need to be informed in order for us to make, our decision, based on the information that we have. You see, I didn't know anything about that we want to use those restricted funds from building into anything. As a matter of fact, I've been trying to modify that law in Tallahassee so we can use a percentage of those restricted funds, which are tremendous, the millions and millions of dollars, in part of our building operation, whatever is related to building. You see, and I do agree, because I wasn't a city manager, but I was a budget analyst. Okay, if we adopt a budget and then we find that we have a shortage or a surplus, before we continue, we have to amend that budget. You understand? Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir. To spend any more than what was already approved,
Yes.
the budget needs to be amended.
They need to be amended. That is Commissioner Carollo's concern and all that. And what we want to do is, what we have to, because that's the only way that we know, everybody knows what's going on. It's a budget. If not, we are not doing it. I mean, we are, it's not permitted. Well, I mean, we're not doing it within the law. And could you please sit down with every single one of us? I was informed of the $23 million, $20-some million that were found. And I told you, and I told the city manager, this is going to create a lot of doubts. It's going to create a lot of doubts. I do understand that budgets are projections, and sometimes they are, if you don't look quite very close to all the accounts, you might have some money hidden there, or that inadvertently was not counted. I do understand that. That had happened before. But the information has to come to us before we come to a city commission meeting. And please sit down with us and let us know what it is.
Thank you. So just let me understand the will of the commission. Is there a will to pass part of this with regard to the capital transfer, or defer the whole thing? Because we can do either.
I want to defer everything with the exception of the white item for the building monies that they talked about, because that we could end up in trouble and losing those dollars, if I understand it correctly.
Okay.
That is correct, sir.
So currently we have a motion to defer the entire item. Perhaps we should withdraw that motion and make it in the way that passes part of the budget.
We're taking out that one part of the budget and the buildings transfer of $45 million for the, building a new, MRC.
It's for a building facility,
Yeah,
whether
building
it's
facility,
standalone.
well, building facilities.
And
But it
that
has-
project, yes, sir, and that project would have to come back to the commission for approval.
Absolutely. Now,
Okay.
and that is because those are funds, as I understand it, the building department gets its style by state law, and it could only be spent in a certain way. So
That is correct.
everything else, we're going to defer except that item for the reasons stated.
So,
Yeah, a point of clarification.
you're recognized, Commissioner Watson.
So the 27.2 is not in the 45?
Excuse me?
The 27.2 is not?
No, that's not, the 45 is different.
Okay.
That's the building department that has built up that money throughout the years.
Okay.
From monies they get from developments.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is for someone to make a motion to pass this one portion of this amendment, and then we'll bring a new item in January for all the rest.
Well, before we do, I'd just like to ask a couple of more questions. See if anybody has the answer. Approximately how many square feet do we have in the MRC? I forgot since we discussed it a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I don't have that off the top of my head. I'd have to check, sir.
Does somebody have it here? Somebody in Dream or Nightmare or something?
Give me a minute.
Yeah. Was it 200,000 square feet? Less? Okay, here we go.
Yes, sir, a little under 200,000.
Okay. So let me put 200,000, and I'm going to go high on the cost in duplicating a building like the MRC, except it's not going to have all the granite on the outside, all the marble inside, and some of the other fancy stuff that were put in there when Florida Power and Light built it for their executives before we bought it. Okay, we'll go with a high number, and we should get someone to do it for 125 or less. But if we go with 150 per square foot, that's 30 million that it would cost us to duplicate that building. And frankly, we could duplicate one exactly like it to the side of it, leaving all the land that we now use, and we could create some more for activities back there, if that's where we want to go, and stay downtown. So I just want to put that out on the record, that the 45 million is going to be way more than we need. And I don't want any developer to think that they're going to take us for a ride in the future and charge us 250 a square foot or something like that. As long as I'm here, I'm never going to approve that.
Commissioner, through the chair, right quick, just that 150 number,
Yeah.
start to finish, nothing happens, walk straight through, no glitches, no blips, no nothing. I'm saying to you that that $150 square foot number is low.
Yeah.
Because we're not building now for today, we're going to be building now for tomorrow, and you got to take that into consideration. 'Cause-
Even for tomorrow, Commissioner, and I've been up to date on this.
Okay.
It's not low. I could get people maybe that will come in even at 108, 110. That's why I put that. Now, what that doesn't include is then coming in with the furniture and everything else that you got to do. That's separate. That's separate. But actual construction, without putting marble, granite, typical governmental building the way it should be, with 150 a square foot, because this is not going to be a tall building. This will be 8 stories or so that you could do with that, like what we have there now. You could keep those costs low. Now, if you go over 12 stories, you start going into 15, 20 stories, your costs do go up. But keeping it low, below 10 stories, you're fine with those numbers. And you'll find top-notch developers here that are willing to do it that way. Now, you got others that are very politically correct, that they're going to tell you that they can't do it for that and they want more, but that's a different story.
Okay, let me be clear about this. I am not too pleased that we are talking about a building and constructing a building that we haven't yet decided if we're going to do it. You see? Because I haven't been informed that there is a plan, nor do I know the location, nor do I know what is going to be, why we're moving. I'm not too pleased with that. I understand and that it could be 150, 200, but before we go into that, I think there's a decision that has to be made by us. And we have to be properly informed on what the plans are. As a matter of fact, that's what I want. That's what I want. And all of us, we will have our objections or our approval.
Sure.
And also all of us, we can probably include our opinions or try to be part of the plans, whatever. But we need to be informed.
Yep.
You see?
Absolutely correct. And one thing that I did not go into, that we will probably need some of the remaining monies there to give the Preston building, if we want to stay there, impact windows and some other uplifts, but that's a fine building. Not what we were told. Eventually, I got the former Dream director one time to finally admit that all the stuff that we were being told that it was going to cost us as much to fix that building up as it was to build a new one was hogwash. The bottom line is that we had to tear it down if we were going to sell it.
That was his recommendation.
Yeah, but again, what we're voting on is just buildings, so it could be whatever. But I think for the sake of all of us to be very straight on this item and to have full transparency, if we could get the building director to explain the limits, first of all, where the money comes from, and then the limits that we have and how to spend it.
You recognize.
Good morning, Chair, Commissioners. Ace Marrero, Building Director. Commissioner, you are indeed correct. There are restrictions by Florida statutes as to how you can utilize those funds.
Yes.
And there are also restrictions in terms of how much you are allowed to carry over per the a recent change in the Florida statutes. And this is one of those mechanisms that we are utilizing to make sure that those funds are not at risk. We have been discussing the issue and the need of the city to have a facility to house all of the permitting needs. One that is able to have a one-stop shop for all of the permitting, and one also that is capable of being resilient. One that is a level 4 building that we don't have today. One that, after the city is faced with a natural disaster, can come back same day and be able to have and maintain the level of operations into the future. So I believe that the funds that we're setting aside will be able to do so for the city of Miami and all of its permitting needs. And with that, I'll be able to, I'm open to answer any questions that you may have into the specifics.
Can you explain to the commission how you get these funds originally?
These funds have been carried over multiple years, not just,
Right, but how do you get them from?
Permit fees, specifically the permit fees, the building permit fees.
Yeah. Which is what I said, but I want you to explain it well. so that we know the difference of the other funds that are general fund versus these.
The Florida statute is very specific that the building permit fees can only be used to enforce the building code. So.
Okay.
So,
And I want to make clear, if we don't make a decision, are we going to lose those funds? Because as far as I understand, we don't lose those funds. Those funds are being accruing year after year and after year, and since we are not using most of them, that's why I'm trying to present legislation to ease that they use and allow us to use some of it. But I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, that those 45 millions, if we don't set aside, we're going to lose them?
We're not going to lose the funds, but we would have to establish a program to start refunding some of those monies or applying credits.
I don't understand, sir. Could you be more specific?
The Florida statute passed a legislation that became effective on July 1st of last year.
No, okay.
That stated that the building permit fees can only be accrued at a rate of 4 times your operating annual budget.
Yes.
So we are today beyond that.
Yes.
And so if we remain beyond that threshold, the Florida statutes indicate that we would have to establish a program to either credit or refund some of those monies.
That refund will go to the persons, the people that paid the fees.
That is correct.
Okay, now I got it. Yes, I would like to break this and bifurcate it and defer the part that is general revenues and general funds, and this particular restricted fund, you see, and do what you have to do, and then let's set aside those $45 million, whatever it is, for a building. But that could be used either to refurbish the building that we have, or could be used for a new building. But what we're doing is we're setting aside those funds in order to be used according to what the law allows.
That's
okay. That is going to be my motion, to bifurcate it, and we will defer the other part, the part that is with general funds and all type other funds, part of our operating budget, and this portion will be accepted. It will be passed.
I second that. That's what we've been discussing all along.
All right. I think the spirit of that is we're in concert here. I just want to make sure procedurally we get it correct here. Mr. Clerk, you're recommending a specific way to pass this to capture that intention, correct?
Yes, Chair. From a technical standpoint, what you can do is amend the legislation to only address the 45 million. The remainder of it will be brought back as a new item with a new file ID. So from a technical standpoint.
So not a deferral.
Correct.
Just simply passing it with an amendment, removing all the other items except for that.
Correct. Correct.
A strike everything amendment in Tallahassee jargon. Strike everything amendment. And
strike everything but.
Strike everything, we put only that language on it, and we pass that.
Does that work for your motion and second?
Here, you can only strike out
3 times.
If you missed the ball 3 times.
Only 3 times.
You're out. Okay. Hey, as long as it works, the wording of it, I am not concerned. As long as we can set aside those 45 million, and then we could analyze the rest of it, you see, and everybody will be informed, and then we will amend the budget and do it right. It's fine with me.
Then you make the motion as suggested by the clerk?
By the people that knows.
Well, sometimes.
Okay.
Don't praise him too much, he'll want to raise.
No, you're absolutely right.
What's just in the budget too, I think.
That's right.
For him.
That's right.
Mr. Chair,
There's been a motion and a second. You're recognized.
point of information. What's the threshold on these fees?
When you calculate the 4 times the operating budget,
Um,
48 something.
I believe the threshold is around $60 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
And so we would be, I believe if my memory serves me well, we have about 85.
Yeah.
80, so we will be below the threshold by about maybe $15 million.
Have we ever,
And our operating budget right now is around 20. So that would easily give us two entire two folds of our yearly operating budgets in reserves,
so
which is very healthy.
the bifurcation is going to split that money that way, right?
The bifurcation would be to set aside the 45 into a capital budget reserve. And then we can discuss what will be the proper means to utilize those funds.
And so
The remaining of the budget will remain in the existing restricted funds for building.
And we've never gotten to the point where we had to refund monies.
You would need to exceed, per the Florida statutes, of 4 times. So we would, so I think that gives us a pretty good threshold moving forward.
All right, call the question.
All right, we have a motion, an amendment, no further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. I'd like to break for lunch. We can come back at
Yes.
2:30. How does that sound?
Yes.
All right.
Everybody is invited.
2:30. And Commissioner Reyes is inviting for lunch. Thank you very much.
Everybody is invited to go to the terrace, and we're going to have our Christmas lunch.
Thank you very much. There's also, go ahead, I'm sorry.
And there's no alcohol, as Commissioner Carrillo said, but there's plenty of refreshments there and plenty of food. And also, you can take home too.
Thank you. And there's also a 12:30 press conference out front regarding the amicus brief with
1:30.
Boca for anyone who'd
1:30.
like to.
1:30, ain't it?
There's 2 press conferences.
Oh, okay.
The amicus brief with Boca for conversion therapy is at 12:30.
Okay,
I believe the other one's upstairs at 1:30.
okay, all right.
Thank you very much. We are in break until 2:30.